In this lesson, we're going to look at true, false, not given questions and yes, no, not given questions. These two types of prompts are very, very similar. In fact, so similar that it's a little bit hard to find big differences between them. I'll talk about a few small differences, but it really does make sense to put both of these prompt types in the same lessons because the same strategies apply. And you shouldn't spend too much time worrying about how they're different. Once you understand the basic strategy for both of these questions, then you'll know how to approach them when you see them on the test. So these true, false, not given and yes, no, not given tend to be some of the more challenging types of prompts for students. And so it's going to be important to know how to approach these and to feel confident about that you know exactly what you're looking for when you're supposed to look for example, a not given answer. What does it mean that the answer is not given? Okay, well, we're going to talk about that here in this lesson. All right, first of all, some basic things on how to approach the question. Just like many other IELTS reading prompt types, scanning is really, really important for this question type. And your job is even more important with true, false, not given questions and yes, no, not given questions, your job of scanning, because you can waste a lot of time searching for things in this prompt type that are just not in the reading passage, okay? One of the answer choices not given, as we'll see in a moment, means that the answer isn't provided by the text. So think about it. If you're searching and searching and searching for something that just isn't there, you can waste a lot of time. So it's important to be very efficient about that. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, as with other prompt types, in this case, it's very important to begin with whatever prompt you think you can find the answer to fastest, okay? And that's especially important for these because with these question types, the answers do come in order. That's a very nice thing to have for this type of prompt, because you'll know when you find that answer to question number 3 that you should look for answers to numbers 1 and 2 before you found that place where you found the answer for number 3, for example. Okay, so once you find one answer that you're pretty confident about, you can go to specific spots in the passage to look for the other answers, the ones that come before and after, and it helps you very often to eliminate some possibilities, right? Because if you know that you've searched and you have a pretty confident sense of what's in, let's say, paragraph 2, and you know the answer would have to be there, but you're just not finding it, you can move ahead and answer not given to that prompt because you're pretty confident it's just not going to be found in the article. Okay, so that's how scanning can really pay off. So you underline those keywords in the prompts, you go find the ones that are easiest for you to locate, and then you hope in the process you find answers to some other prompts as well. That's usually what happens when you use that method and scan appropriately like that. All right, the third point here is that it's very important with this prompt type to really understand the full prompt the best you can, okay? And then your job is to confirm whether or not that information you get in the prompt has one of these 3 relationships, okay? First of all, can you find an idea, okay, the ideas that match the ideas in your question prompt in the text that you're looking at? Okay, so the full idea, all of the points made in the question prompt itself need to be found somewhere in the text, okay? That's when you can answer true, okay, or yes, depending on what question type you have. If you find something that disagrees directly with the statement in the prompt, in other words, it contradicts the prompt, then you can say no or false, okay? So there has to be information in the text that goes against the statement you're looking at in the prompt. That's where you can answer no or false, okay? if the information is not provided by the text, okay, so maybe a small part of the statement can be found, but the entire idea of the whole statement in the prompt cannot be found or located somewhere in the text, then you put not given, okay? And that's where it's this third option down here. The idea is not stated there, and that's where you answer not given for both of the prompt types that we're looking at. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Either the text confirms the statement, contradicts or goes against it, or the statement simply can't be supported by anything found in the text. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now, with true, false, not given questions, generally IELTS uses these for factual information that you're going to have to look for in the passage. Yes, no, not given is technically more about ideas, so more about the statements or claims that the writer makes. Very often these questions, the prompts look very similar to each other. For yes, no, not given, you could have some opinion statements that you would have to go and search for whether or not the author would support that claim or not based on what's said there. That you will not find with true, false, not given. But the differences are very small. If you look simply for whether or not the statement is confirmed or contradicted or not found, it works for both of these kinds of question types. Okay, so the differences are not big. I wouldn't dwell on those or really worry about what the differences are between them, as long as you understand what you're looking for both of them. Okay, now let's practice this. Let's do an example question. Okay, so for this, we're going to refer to the clonal colonies passage you see down below. We're going to answer some true, false, not given questions for these, okay? In a moment, I'm going to put your questions on the screen, and as we do in many of these question videos, I'll invite you to pause your video and go look for those answers, okay? Remember, your goal here is to find information that confirms, contradicts, or simply cannot be found in the passage related to these prompts that you're about to see. Okay, I'll put them on the screen. Go ahead and pause your video and go try to answer these questions.